Hey, we're headed up to federal court. We have a federal defendant looking at 20 years for providing medical cannabis. And we have to be able to start to really get a media buzz around this. And it's hard because often people don't want to do the media buzz until it gets to the full trial.
Right.
And that's for a lot of different reasons for my book. It's because, one, lobbyists and lawyers want things to go to full trial because, then the defendants have to pay a whole bunch of money to get up into the trial point, right? And where activism comes in is, no, we don't want things to go to trial. We want them to be dismissed. We were successful in the return of 7 pounds of our medicine when one of our cultivators got raided because we were all showing up for court. We were all making calls. Get a media buzz going pre-trial, which is one of the hardest things to do. Like the national policy lobbying organizations like ASA, DPA, all those guys, they don't touch anything until it gets to that level. And that's not an activist perspective. Our perspective is dismiss as soon as possible. And so Northern California has a U.S. attorney, and it used to be this guy Rusinello, who wasn't so good on several issues, wasn't so good on immigration, etc. So our Board of Suits asked him to be replaced. I don't know if that fit into why he was replaced, but he was replaced with Ms. Haig. And what we're doing is we are sending a petition to her to have her acknowledge Eric Holder's statement, who is the attorney for our entire country, right? He's right underneath Obama. And everybody knows that he made a statement that he was not, the new federal administration when Obama took presidency wasn't interested in what? Prosecuting and wasting federal resources prosecuting the medical cannabis states. So if somebody's on trial, they're wasting money. If someone's even going through motions pre-trial, they're wasting federal resources, which could probably be better spent on health and education and all the things that, make a healthy country instead of targeting medical cannabis providers. So that's basically the gist of our online petition. Jay's at the copy center right now to get us the hard copies. In Access to Love, we're used to, when we give out every person one petition that has maybe 25 signatures, we're used to people coming the next day with that filled out, whether that means you're going and talking to people in your building or your friends. It doesn't matter. You want to be able to talk to the people that you know and have them become aware of what's going on. You want them to be a registered California voter because that always affects things. But right now with a petition online, we have people from Arizona that have signed on. We have all different types of people that have signed on. And we want to be able to make that appointment with the Northern District of California's attorney and get in that office and give her a copy that's like thick of how many petitions we have and be able to, give her a link to show that there's a lot of people watching this, that this isn't going to just slip through and fade away, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's a big trial and it's even more cost to the taxpayers, right? I mean, that's huge.
Sure. I'm going to share a story real quick.
Please do.
I've never told you this story yet, but what happened in Los Angeles when UMCC was raided, it hit me. I was up north at the time. I flew down the next day, and the first thing we did, well, my manager was in jail, so we bailed her out, and we gathered at the dispensary. The dispensary was closed. And we brainstormed real quick, how do we do this? We've never done this before. We're the only dispensary in Los Angeles. There's nobody before us. So City Hall didn't even know how to deal with it.
Right.
What we did is we found everybody that was, for a lack of better words, important. City supervisors, congressmen, senator, the mayor, Every single office that was important, I think we had 20 names on it of their direct phone numbers. So then the patients started coming up. Why aren't you open? Help us. We handed that paper to every single person. We locked down Los Angeles City Hall's switchboard. For 2 days, nobody could call in. We just flooded. The internet just flooded. That happened within the first 2 days. By the time the judge got that case in front of him, he didn't want any part of it. And it was, and what was the prosecutor's name down there that was trying to run for an office that ASA's trying to claim the fame that didn't have him put in? Cooley. Cooley. Yeah, Cooley was prosecutor. He was the district attorney and still is the district attorney. I don't think he likes me too much right now. I mean, we pushed so hard that, and in turn, because of that 2-day campaign that then continued on, we had the first return of property that Los Angeles had ever done. Los Angeles said, no, we will take your stuff, please. Then, I'm not going to continue on with the story, I'm going to turn it back to you, but then it got turned over to the feds. So that you never heard the first part of the story.
No, I never heard the action part of it. And we've done similar things, like when the feds were trying to get into HopeNet, we locked them outside and basically shut down City Hall and made sure when we had unscrupulous people within our own community trying to change some zoning things by literally 2 addresses so that a few clubs couldn't get in, right? We were able to shut down Chris Daly's office, and even though one of the people that was trying to push us off the map was one of his main funders, he said, okay, all right, I give. What do you need from me to stop calling my office? And basically, as of tomorrow morning and tonight, when we leave here tonight, that's the mode we're in. We're trying to shut this down. We are trying to get this case dismissed.
Because of what happened, now to get property back in Los Angeles, snap of a finger.
Awesome.
It's easy because of that route that we took. And that hopefully can pave the way for federal defendants in the future if we can shut this down quick. They're saying this is the biggest case. Let's slam the biggest case down quick.
So we annoy them in this.
And so for anybody that hasn't met Scott yet, Scott is the federal defendant that we're speaking of.
Yeah.
He's sitting here with us to help us create a plan to protect all of our safe access. And I think that is a really key element in it too. A lot of times, people and attorneys and lobbyists don't have our defendants go out and meet people and talk to people. And I can tell you, if there's a federal defendant in the distance, they're never going to gain the traction that a federal defendant gets when they know the people in the courtroom that are sitting there to witness their proceedings. That's how we worked with Ed Rosenthal. That's how we're going to work with Scott. And it is the same height of urgency as Ed Rosenthal's case. This morning I'm on the phone with Ed Rosenthal's assistant, Angela. She's going to be posting our petition, our online petition. And we just really want to make sure that everybody understands the implications of getting this dismissed and being able to actually organize on a federal level and actually have them on a federal level, being aware that there's a patient voice that's always going to come into this and make sure that we have direct and safe access. And part of that means protecting our providers, right?
Right.
So you're literally talking about...
Yes, Lamar?
Well, they tried to pull the same thing as they did on that case, close out the courtroom and lie to us and tell us we have to leave.
Well,
The judge was pissed.
That's why
Just behind the scenes,
find that out.
behind the scenes, the judge was pissed off
Right.
and says, I am not going to have this.
so it was actually the federal prosecutors that were trying to get us out of the courtroom.
And what they used to get you guys out, just to let you know, is they were going to say that they were going to say stuff that the public couldn't hear.
Here. There
That's
it is.
what
I thought
he used.
that's what-
And the judge said, okay, if there's something the public can't hear, we're going to do this whole hearing and don't say what the public can't hear, and then we'll seal it. And then just tell it. And by the time everything was done, it never needed to be sealed. Because there was nothing to say.
Nothing to
He
say.
played that, so the judge is not going to do that twice. It's not gonna happen.
So basically they fooled us once, but they're not going to fool us twice. And even when we were at Rosenthal's case, the judge was really, one of the judges was pretty darn cool to us and pretty much knew that there was something up if Access to Love wasn't packing the first 4 rows, they knew something was up. And so did Ed. He was looking back, and then we'd come in a little bit, tiny bit late, but we won't do that ever again. Because it really scares the defendants when they also don't look back and see their support. It's really, really, really important. I mean, it's similar to performance, but it's way different because you're looking back to make sure that people are witnessing what's happening to you. So we know one of the key points is the Obama policy statement. We know another key point is the waste of federal resources, which ties right into the Obama statement, because you know this is costing already millions of dollars.
And we can't afford to throw that money around right now. What I was going to say, it's so ironic. I mean, Obama did say that we should hold him to it. But, you know, Obama used to smoke cannabis, for crying out loud. And so Gingrich used to do the same thing. I see it's such a hypocrisy, you know what I'm saying?
It is a hypocrisy.
Despite President Obama's statement and policy regarding medical cannabis, Melinda Hagg, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Northern California, refuses to dismiss prosecution on medical cannabis. Failing to adhere to the newfound policy, as accurately stated by Shona Gochner,
It's okay if you don't.
Executive Director of Access to Love, SF. The President of our country made it clear to the voters that he should not waste federal resources on medical cannabis prosecution. All we are asking for is for this policy direction to be implemented and not to waste the taxpayers' resources. We, the undersigned, petition the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District, or the District of Northern California, Melinda Hagg, Eric Holder, and President Obama to dismiss the vindicated cases against the Field family in the interests of justice and redirecting federal resources to urgent matters such as health care and education.
Now, to extend on that, I just thought about it because he's probably thinking, oh, okay, what about me? Because there's other co-defendants in this.
So our first revision, and this always happens with our press releases, with our petitions, we do several different versions as we think about how to improve it. We're not the only organization that's working on this. ASA-SF is working on this. There's a whole bunch of different patient orgs, and that's good. You want everybody working together at the federal level, right? We can have our disagreements along the way, but we all, when it comes to the feds, we all have to be united, right?
Yeah. Look on the website. It's a section called Proof for a Prudent Person. And I have Eric Holder actually stating he understands that it helps people. I caught that video. Wow. It was a clip that he did at a college, I think it was. He understands how it helps people. How come this isn't getting help?
That's weird.
It's on the web. Look at the webpage.
That's what I'm not.
No, I think what Lamar said is really critical, you know. And one thing that really affects me, you know, is if we know that there's research to be done as to how cannabis is actually a gateway the other way, was how many people in here have survived drug addiction because of medical cannabis? Why isn't there any research on that?
What's the newest one out now that it's curing cancer? Yeah, that's the newest one. The last couple of weeks.
Hey Greg, Denise asked me to interview people. What can you say about what's going on today?
Hey, how you doing there, Gilbert? Well, we're here today to go to federal court for one of our service providers. He has been charged with several counts of conspiracy charges, and those conspiracy charges radiate from people that he didn't even know up until this court trial. So we're gonna go upstairs and see. We're in a good courtroom. The judge there is pretty fair, and we hope that he has a good court day.
All right.